welcome back to the channel. So I know the first video that you guys saw, I did not really do like a little introduction. We just kind of got straight into it. So for our video today, I'm going to do a little introduction for you guys. My name is Vashon. I am going to be the face of the channel. You guys can also, or you will also hear people call me V, Pusey, Shawnee. So you'll hear my family call me different names. You will also see on my channel my dad Elvis and my stepmom Michelle. We are going to be taking you on this journey as we travel to different places. We're going to be going to different countries, different islands, and we just want to take you guys along for that journey. We will also lead up to planning for those trips as well. So you guys will get to see a little bit of background about, the pre-planning process and what actually happens on our trips. We love to have a good time. I'm a very adventurous family or an adventurous person, and my family is not. So I love to have them do things that are out of the box. So that's what our channel is going to be about. If you guys have any like travel suggestions, any travel places that you would like us to go to, make sure that you like, comment, share, and subscribe. I put all of your comments down below, anything that you want to see moving forward for our videos. My dad and my stepmom, they do live out of the country. So I live in Miami. They live in the British Virgin Islands. So you will see them, like I mentioned, from time to time. A lot of the vlog is going to be myself as a solo traveler. I like to call myself a baddie on a budget. So a lot of what you will see is me planning for a lot of trips. So I wanted to, like I mentioned, start off with that introduction. And I'm going to try to talk as loudly as I can because I know the audio can kind of get a little weird sometimes. So, for our video today, we are going to do a deep dive. I have a trip that I'm planning. And so, we're going to start off with a very detailed deep dive of what is to be expected when planning for that trip. Now, as I mentioned before, I am a baddie on a budget, and I'm also a baddie who loves to travel to Caribbean islands. So, again, just another quick background. My mom and my dad are both from Jamaica. So, because of that, I have adapted the Jamaican culture, Jamaican food, Jamaican music. That's all me. Jamaican parties, that's all me. So, when you do see a lot of my content, it is going to be geared towards, Caribbean islands. So, with that being said, the trip that I am planning is actually for a Caribbean Carnival. So, for the people or the viewers that this is your first time ever hearing about a Caribbean Carnival, I wanted to give you guys a little background. So, I have some things that you'll need to know. They're on my phone. So, if you guys see me look down, it's because I'm reading from my phone. And we are going to go into what a Caribbean Carnival is. So, again, for those of you who have never heard of a Caribbean Carnival, never experienced it, it's not just for Caribbean people, it's for everyone, male and female included. So, I'll give you guys a little background because this is probably foreign to a lot of people. So, what is a Caribbean Carnival? A Caribbean Carnival is a cultural celebration that originated when enslaved Africans could not celebrate religious ceremonies. So, this is dating back very far, guys, back in slavery. And they were unable to celebrate religious practices, religious ceremonies like everyone else. So the Africans came up with their own tradition, which became the Caribbean Carnival we know today. It is celebrated with music, which that music is usually calypso, soca, steel pan. If you've ever been to Trinidad, steel pan is a big thing. Colorful costumes and street dancing. It's also seen as a way to combine all of the Caribbean cultures. So one of the big things that I love about Caribbean carnivals is that it's a melting pot of all of the Caribbean islands. There's no this country or this island doesn't like this island. We are all one in that moment, and it's a great experience. If you guys have never experienced Carnival, it's a 10 out of 10. I would definitely recommend. Caribbean Carnivals is such an amazing way to get in tune with the culture, get in tune with if you are a second generation Caribbean person like myself. It's a great way to get in tune with your culture. So I would definitely recommend. Some other things that you will hear me mention, I have a list of like words. They're like buzzwords that you're going to hear me mention throughout our time of planning for these carnivals. And so, primarily, as you guys can probably tell, my content is going to be a lot of content based around Caribbean carnivals. That's what I do, that's what I love. I also love to go to a lot of like Jamaican parties in my area. So, again, I will take you guys on that journey with me. But for now, these are just some words that you are going to want to learn about or learn as we go through the process of planning. So, the first word is a fete. Now, a fete is pretty simple. It's a party. It is it's a party. There's no other way to, say it. So you might hear me mention like I'm gonna go to a soca fete, or there's a soca fete happening before the carnival. The next word is going to be costume. So a costume is not like a Halloween costume. It's an elaborate outfit, usually with jewels and feathers that are worn during the carnival celebration. So on the very last day of the carnival, you dress up in these very elaborate, like it mentions, outfits with jewels and big gigantic feathers. I am going to later on in the video show you guys some of the carnival costumes that I'm looking at. So the next word is going to be mass band or just band. It's a group of people who organize, participate, and create the costume for the carnival. So I'm going to pause here for a second. So a mass band are the people that create the costumes. Now I will say that each carnival that you go to, depending on wherever you go for that carnival, there are going to be different mass bands. And every year there is a new theme for that mass band. So you might go to a carnival last year and you're thinking, okay, can I wear that same costume last year into this year? No, you cannot, because there is now a new theme, there's a new costume. So every time you go to a different carnival in a different area, every year you're going to have a different costume that goes along with that. So I do just want to make that distinction very clear. The mass bands, there's different mass bands in each country that you go to or each place that you go to. The next word you're going to want to know, and I actually learned this word, not learned the word, but I learned what the meaning of the word was. So it's juve. Juve is a French word which means daybreak or dawn. It is a street parade. Again, it's a way to symbolize freedom by using paint, powder, mud, water. If you go to, I believe it's Grenada, if you go to Grenada, they use oil. So Juve is exactly what it sounds like. And usually Juve happens, as the word suggests, it happens at daybreak. So it usually happens at like 5, 6 a.m. and it goes later on into the the afternoon. And so that's what Juve is. Okay, perfect. All right. And you, like it mentions, you use paint, powder, mud, water, oil. These are all things that are used to, again, just symbolize like that freedom. So the last word is mass, or also known as road march, or just simply known as a parade. This is the final day of Carnival where you wear your costume and celebrate It's another street parade. Like I said, the only difference between Juve and Mass or Road March is just the outfits. So as you can probably tell with Juve, you're gonna wear things that you don't really care about, because the paint and powder is gonna mess up everything for the ladies. You're gonna wear like a shower cap or something to cover your hair. And so on the very, that's Juve. On the very last day of the carnival is the actual Mass. And that's going to be the day that you wear your elaborate feathers, your jewels, you're gonna look fancy. For our girls, we're gonna have our makeup done, hair done, everything. So those are just a couple of the words that you guys are going to want to note and listen to as we go along in this planning process. Now, the first thing we're going to want to do for those people who have never experienced a carnival, the first thing you're going to want to do, and if you're a working girly like myself, you want to make sure that you know what dates you're going to be traveling. Now, from my experience of traveling, I usually like to do a few days before the actual carnival to just experience the culture, experience the vibes, do a little fun activity, and then I experience the carnival. I also like to do maybe a couple of parties before, depending on like what's going on. So I will tell you a great resource for myself. And I'm going to put everything, guys, in. I'll probably either put them in the description section of the video, or if not, they will be posted on the screen so you guys can have a greater view. So don't worry about trying to read my screen. Now, what I use to choose my dates, I just Google, if you Google Caribbean Carnival Calendar 2025. There's going to be different ones that pop up, but the website that I use is globalcarnivalis.com. You guys are not going to be able to see this, but like I mentioned, I will post it big so that you guys can see it. So Global Carnivalis is going to have your full calendar for 2025. And for those people who are on a budget, who maybe don't want to go out of the country or don't have a passport to go out of the country, they do have carnivals in the States as well. So I'll just give you guys a few. They have Baltimore, Atlantic City, they have Toronto for our Canada peeps. They do have Boston. A really big one is New York, Labor Day, September 1st. And then Miami, where I'm from, I've done Miami Carnival plenty of times. That's October 12th of this year. They have Atlanta is another really big one. They have Tampa, they have Orlando, they have South Carolina. So the Caribbean Carnival scene is getting really, really big right now. A lot of places in the States are doing carnivals. So again, if that's something that you want to experience, definitely look at the calendar for Global Carnivalis and you will be able to see your full dates for 2025. Now, I will tell you guys, when I initially started this year, I intended on going to Carnival in St. Vincent or St. Lucia, which is happening in July. And I'm going to show you guys the process of how I ended up eliminating those two locations for Carnival and settled on the one that I am going to go to. So I will say I also had Cayman Islands on my peripheral. It's also happening at the beginning of July. And the only reason I didn't decide on Cayman Islands was actually a really great price. I did not settle on it because I just felt like I can do Cayman another year. It wasn't like a big deal. So I will say that I have about maybe two carnivals that I see in my near future. So we are going to talk about those as we go along. But for now, we're going to start off with the dates for St. Lucia and St. Vincent. And I will tell you guys how I ended up eliminating those two dates or those two carnivals. So let's start off with St. Vincent. St. Vincent is booked for July 7th and July 8th. So usually July 7th is Juve and July 8th is the actual parade day. So, and as I mentioned before, I like to go a couple days ahead of schedule. So we are going to now we're going to flip to, if you guys have never been made aware of this, you can search for flights using Google Flights. It's going to be one of my greatest resources. You can also track flights that way. So right now, the carnival that I have planned for August, I already have it being tracked. So it tells me when the flight prices is going up or the flight price is going down. So it's a great tool on Google Flights, and the notifications go to your Google email. So Google Flights looks something like this. And again, I'll put everything up on the screen so that you guys can see it. And so you're going to start off with your where you're traveling from. So for me, I'm traveling from Miami, and we're going to put St. Vincent in the search. They have one airport. We want it to be a round trip, and I'm going to departure on, let's do July 3rd to July 9th. So let's do our search. Oh, and actually today the price has gone down, guys. Oh my gosh. Okay. So today the flight price has actually gone down. So what I will say, guys, like I mentioned, I've been tracking these pretty frequently. And for me, I'm the type of person, I don't really love to do a connecting flight. Now, I know depending on where you guys are located, you might only have the option of doing a connecting flight. Me personally, if I can eliminate it, I'm going to eliminate the connecting flights. So, from what I see here, it looks like on July 3rd, American Airlines has a straight flight that goes there. They also have a straight flight coming back, and that's where the issue came in. So the straight flight going there and the straight flight coming back ended up working out to $1,294 today. Again, the flight prices might fluctuate. I have noticed that, just a pro tip, guys, if you've never like traveled or anything like that, flight prices are usually going to be cheaper. I would want to say like maybe in the middle of the night, maybe 1, 2 o'clock in the morning, and it's usually going to be cheaper on a weekday. I think they usually say like Monday or Tuesday is like the best times to look for flights. So we are Wednesday in the middle of the week, and so that flight, the reason I ended up eliminating St. Vincent was because the straight flight that goes to and from St. Vincent with American Airlines, it just almost $1,300 once you add like the bags and everything. It's just too much. We're gonna talk a little bit about the carnival costumes in a little bit, but it's just too much. It just wouldn't have worked out feasible for me. Now I do notice that they do have, it looks like a flight that goes back. So you can take American Airlines going there, and then to come back, you can take Caribbean Airlines. It actually stops off in Trinidad. It's an overnight layover, but the round trip price ends up working out to $847. So it's a little bit more like on the feasible side for a flight. It's still pretty expensive, but it's a little bit more feasible than $1,300. So just in case, again, you are a type of person who doesn't mind, my planning for St. Vincent had really initially stopped just because the flight was just too much. I will tell you, just a disclaimer, St. Lucia, it was actually the same, if not worse, in pricing. So again, that's where my planning stopped. We will take a look at it just so that you guys can see, and I'll tell you guys the actual price. So for St. Lucia, sorry, the parade day is July 22nd, and the Juve day is July 21st. So on Google Flights, I'm gonna go a couple of days before. So let's do July 17th. July 17th. If it will let me. July 17th to July 23rd. Here we go. So right now it's telling me prices are high. They do have a straight flight again on American Airlines that takes you to and from St. Lucia. And right now it's looking like 1,624. So as I mentioned, guys, that's where my planning stopped because that's very excessive for a flight. The flight is only like 3.5 hours long. So why the flights are that much, I don't really know, but that's where my planning stopped. And as you guys, I'm going to show you guys on the screen, but there is that option to track your flights there. You can also travel on like different days, like if those different days work out for you. For me, it doesn't really work out for a different day just because those are the days of the carnival itself. So anything other than that might not work out for me. But yeah, that's essentially it. Another cool feature about Google Flights is that it will give you the cheapest flight option if that's the way that you want to go. That might include those connecting flights, like I mentioned, but it's a good thing to look at. You can also search for at the top, guys, like hotels, vacation rentals. So it has a lot of like different things that you can do on Google, not just the flights. So just FYI. Okay, so now we're gonna get into the actual carnival that I decided on. So the actual carnival I decided on, guys, was drum roll, Antigua. So Antigua Carnival is going to be Juve on August 4th and the parade on August 5th. So my travel dates, I've already taken my time off. My travel dates have worked out to be August 1st through August 6th. Well, I'll show you guys the cheaper option because right now it's looking kind of pricey. So I'll show you guys the cheapest option because that's what works for me. They're actually connecting flights. So it's going to be an overnight layover on Frontier Airlines and a makes two stops going back from Antigua, and that works out to be $683. So out of everything we have been looking at, that has been the cheapest. Now that's not the flight that I think I'm going to settle on. This is still being tracked as we speak. So it's not the flight that I initially think I'm going to choose. Like I said, I have a preference for a nonstop flight. So I think we're gonna go nonstop there, maybe connecting coming back. I am still looking at this. We have not secured the flights just as yet. So that's the reason why right now we're just looking. This is the early planning stages of things. We still have roughly about 2 months and a half to kind of get everything together, which for me works out to be perfect timing. I also do a lot of research on the back end to kind of figure out things. So for me, I have already started doing a little bit of research. All right, so now that we have looked at the flight information, we're going to move on to the carnival bands. So as I mentioned before, guys, just a little quick background. The carnival bands, there's different bands depending on whichever location you decide to go to. Now, specifically for Antigua, there are 3 bands. I will tell you guys where I found that information. I think I just Googled. I think I just Googled Antigua Carnival 2025. And I think you can also go on like their Instagram as well. But I did find another cool website. that told me a little bit about the band. So the three bands that they do have are Insane Carnival, Miss Carnival, and then I don't want to mess up this, but the name of the band is Scrun, Sechuns, the band. I don't know if I'm messing that up, guys. I'm so sorry. But those are the three bands. Now, I have already kind of taken a look, a little preview of the bands. So I can tell you right now, I didn't love Insane Carnival. I didn't love their stuff. But what I will, I'll give you guys, I will show you. And I apologize. Let me backtrack a little bit before I start to show you these pictures of the costumes. So I'm gonna give you guys like a hierarchy of the costumes. So you do have the option of doing maybe about 5 or 6 different costume choices. So we have ultra frontline or section leader. Those are going to be the excessively elaborate costumes. You're usually going to have feathers that are probably 12 times bigger than you. It does cost a lot more. So I would say section leader or ultra frontline is going to be your top tier, most expensive costumes that you purchase. Those are going to run you anywhere between maybe uh, on the low end, maybe like 1,000 to maybe 2,000, depends on where you go. We also need to look at currency as well because we are going to another island. I need to double check to see if they use US dollar. I know like in Trinidad they have TNT money, so it's different depending, and you do have to kind of exchange your currency to make sure that that price works out for you. So don't worry, guys. I'm going to take you through all of this just in case it sounds very foreign. So that's ultra frontline or the section leader. Then you have frontline. Frontline is going to be the cheaper option, and it's not the cheapest, but it is the cheaper from, so it's the lower tier to the ultra frontline. You still get the elaborate feathers and all of the great things. It usually tells you what is included with your outfit. And then you have midline in some places. Midline is going to be, again, your third tier. So it's going to be the cheaper option as well. And then you have backline. Backline is going to be your last option for women. And so the backline is going to be, again, your cheaper option. Your feathers, in some cases, they might be included in your carnival package, or in some cases, you may pay additional for that. And I think I did mention this to you guys, but I am a plus size girly. So if you're not comfortable with like showing your body, and even though I do promote body positivity, I know that, you know, sometimes women are not completely comfortable with that. They do have monokini options, they have boy shorts options, they have high waist panty options. So they do have all of those things for our plus size baddies. So don't feel like you can't do this. We're all out here having a good time. Nobody is checking for whose fat rolls or where. I'm gonna just be honest, because mine be all over the place and I don't care. So those are our different tiers of costumes that you can get. So there's backline at the bottom, midline, frontline, and then ultra frontline slash section leader. We also have for our men, they do have men costumes as well. Men don't have all of the extra, you know, us women have a whole lot, but the men don't have all the extras. They can still get feathers as well if they would like to upgrade to that, but their costumes are usually pretty, you know, just some like swim trunks or something like that, decorated, maybe a little like shoulder piece or like top piece. So the men's stuff is a lot cheaper for the men that want to go to Carnival. It's also a great experience. So that's the breakdown of the costume tiers. And let's see here. Okay, so I'm going to show you guys. I think I went on Instagram to look for Insane Carnival, and that's how I ended up finding. Yeah, So it's Insane Carnival on Instagram. I will plug their information. That's how I ended up finding their costume options. Now, once you do go on their Instagram, they have their website. And in order to see how much the costumes are going to cost and things like that, you will need to register for that. But I will say that you can do like a little quick browse if you ever want to see what the costumes look like. And I will put some up on the screen for you guys. Yeah, I'm gonna put some up on the screen so that you guys can see. I will put those up for you. So that's Insane Carnival. And again, I just went on their Instagram. That's how I ended up finding them. I will say that I believe I'm fully committed to Miss Carnival. I just have to secure my security deposit. That's another thing, guys, when you are booking your costume, and I'll take you guys on that journey when I do book my costume. But you pay your security deposit, and then over the couple of months, you are able to pay as you see fit. Now, you do have to make your final payment before the carnival day, and then again, before the carnival day, you pick up your actual costume and everything. And so it's up to you what you pay and how you pay. And so that's a great thing about this. The sooner you book your costume, the better, because that does kind of give you time to spread out your payments. So if it's something that's costing you, maybe $1,000, you might want to stretch that out over, a good couple of months. Um, Sorry guys, it's a lot of information and I'm trying to make sure I get everything in here for you guys. And so another thing I forgot to mention, when you do get your costume, that is going to include your Juve package. It is going to include food and drinks for both days. In some cases, it might include like a party or so. It's also going to include like a goodie bag that they give you the day of carnival, or not the day of, before when you go pick up your costume. So all of these things are included in that one price. I don't want you guys to think that you're paying like all these different prices. The bands and show you guys like one costume from each band. I will go ahead and do that. And then I will try to find the price as well to show you guys on the screen. So that's where we're going to stop today, guys. We have looked at flights, just to recap. We've also looked at the different carnival bands. We are going to come back for a part two so that I can go over hotel options with you guys as well. You do also have the option of doing Airbnbs if that's something that you prefer. As we go ahead and book everything, and as I go along, I'll show you guys what that looks like, what our grand total is going to come out to. After we have secured everything, I will also take you guys on the journey as we are traveling to Antigua. So stay tuned for August 1st. But until then, you guys will still continue to see me. There will be videos posted every Friday. And if you guys ever, have any questions, any tips, or anything like that for traveling, definitely make sure to put them in the comments down below. I definitely appreciate you guys for listening to me rant on and on and on and on. Probably one of these videos, I will show you guys my experience traveling to London Carnival. That was my first time going out of the country for Carnival, and that was a great experience. I did that in last year, 2024. So one of these videos, I'll probably detail that. But until then, guys, I appreciate you guys for watching. And don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe to all of the things. And I will see you guys back for part two.